Hello, and this is Toxic Talks. We remember it so you don't have to. Welcome to the shittiest YouTube podcast, quite possibly. So yeah, we all saw. Is there any latest film news that we wanted to discuss?
Well, we just have to update something real quick that we're no longer doing. Reviews on Who Killed Captain Alex or Revenge of the Sith.
There's just too much to talk about, and we came across a movie.
There was
that we all wanted to see.
The film that I recommended. We decided to go with, and that was The Seventh Seal. So I had them both. Oh yeah, we have a member missing. Almost forgot.
Oh yeah.
Nick couldn't make it because he didn't watch Midsommar, the film that we're going to talk about, and then The Seventh Seal, the film that we are going to talk about after.
But that's okay, because he'll be in the next one.
Yeah.
Most likely. Yeah.
So, we've also agreed on the fact that, I don't know, I guess I'm going to be recommending another film again.
Yeah, I mean, you're the expert.
The movie man, Jake.
Alright, so we saw Midsommar. It was my most anticipated film of the year. And,
by Ari Aster, right?
Yeah, by Ari Aster. Oh.
Who made it Hereditary.
What did you guys think about it?
Oh, well, first, we have to do like a spoiler-free section.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, we kind of went into the theater anticipating a lot. I was kind of scared because it was, borderline NC-17?
Well, I figured out what the NC-17 was, but I could discuss about that in the spoiler section.
Yeah, we can talk about the spoilers. But, yeah, it was borderline NC-17. We went in really, waiting, because me and Jake watched Hereditary before. Showed it me at my house, anticipating a film like that, and it did not disappoint.
Ari Aster, go on, Frank. What were you saying?
No, it's fine. My comment has something to do with that.
All right.
Ari Aster, he said in an interview for Midsommar that he said that those going in expecting a film like Hereditary would be disappointed because it's completely different, and I think it's a little bit different than Hereditary.
It is. It was a lot of the same style. I just say it wasn't as bloody or horrific, I guess. It wasn't as scary, but it was still it was scary in its own way.
It wasn't.
Different way.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was scary. I walked out unnerved.
Yeah,
I was unsettled.
Yes, yeah, I think everybody who ever will watch that movie will feel the same way.
Mm-hmm. Because
it was kind of disturbing.
We were driving home, and me and Frank were in shock, a little bit.
I really couldn't say anything, even if I wasn't on the phone, because I was calling after the movie, but I just couldn't think of anything, because I was like, what the fuck?
My mind was completely blank, I was like, holy shit. But
well, we've had time to think about it now.
Yeah,
so.
We've had a lot of time, because it's been 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks.
Is there anything without spoilers we can say right off the bat?
Well, we could talk about how fucking fantastic the acting was.
Oh, yeah. Or how bad it was, but...
So, I thought the acting was really good. For some people, Florence Pugh, excellent. And,
okay, who was that? Was that the
main girl,
character?
The main actor, the main girl.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one thing I had to say, that's one thing I was thought about that I wanted to talk to you about her acting. Every time she had, a breakdown, because her character was kind of she was having issues. In the movie, she's having a lot of issues. Something happened, and she's going through a lot mentally. Every time she had a breakdown or would be in a situation where she just couldn't handle something, that, freaked me out some of the most. She's, really creeping me out. Nothing paranormal.
Ari Aster makes crying, fucking scary.
Yeah, she was crying like she was having, giving birth.
They weren't sugarcoating anything. That's how people cry in the real world.
I kind of thought her crying acting at some points, I felt like sometimes it took me out of the movie because I'm like, oh, jeez.
it genuinely felt real for me. Like, no one...
It's hard to act cry. Like, especially Hereditary, the guy who acts crying, that one is fucking terrible.
Alex Wolff is good at acting, but he sucks ass at crying sometimes. Crying.
But, yeah, I thought her crying was... That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. But then again, no one sounds good when they're crying. No one...
Hers was just terrifying.
Yeah, because, like...
that scene that they had where...
The opening scene.
Her boyfriend was, like, comforting her, and she was, like, crying in his lap, and they were just, like, slowly zooming out. It really, like, made me shivers.
When it's not really a spoiler, but when she calls him, and then she's just, like, screaming, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, I was like, whoa, shit.
It's like...
Yeah. So...
That was real.
Yeah.
Made you feel like it was real.
Yeah. The score... Are we done with the acting? Do you think, does anyone else have anything?
Yeah. That's all I...
Yeah, the acting. What about, like, the music soundtrack?
The score for the movie, I really liked. But it wasn't as good as Hereditary's, I think. Like...
No, you're right, yeah. Except for the last song in the credits.
The last song at the end where, like, shit's going down, it's the climax of the film, and it's before the credits... That song I love, and I have it actually saved in Spotify along with the last song in Hereditary, Reborn.
Nice. The fact that Hereditary took place in kind of like a house in a town, I don't know, it's like just like where everyone else lives. They can use like pretty much any song.
Mm-hmm.
This took place in kind of like a foreign... Where were they? Switzerland? Where were they?
Sweden, I think.
Sweden?
Yeah,
and
it was Sweden.
They have a lot of it took place in that place, you know, where they went to celebrate Midsommar at the festival. So it was just mostly a lot of like a cappella, I think, of like chanting, and then like maybe Norse kind of themed different language songs.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't a lot that you can do with like modern music there. Definitely not. But yeah, it was still really good. Like if you listen to the score, it's pretty good, but not Hereditary. I liked Hereditary's better.
I like the opening song and the final song for the score in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's unsettling and it makes you uncomfortable, but I think Hereditary's does a good job in just giving you, I don't know, I just think it worked. It made me more uncomfortable than Midsommar's score.
Yeah,
but it's still good. So
should we move on to now?
Should we go into spoilers? I mean...
I think I can have one thing that isn't a spoiler.
I
have one thing that isn't a spoiler that I just want to comment about it. Is the symbolism that Ari Aster uses, or is like the foreshadowing that he does is like crazy. Like let's say the opening, it opened up with just a painted wall, kind of.
I love
everything that was about to happen in the movie.
This is a slight. It's not really a spoiler because it happens at the beginning of the movie, but still, yes, it's like that painting, there's the foreshadowing and all that stuff. It's
and then when they're in her room and you see that painting on the wall and something that happens later in the film that I can probably talk about later.
And then the painting outside and all that stuff. Just all these like paintings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. So,
anyways,
yeah, I think we could go into spoilers, because I don't know. I mean, the film, if you haven't seen the movie, go in with, like, an open mind. Like, don't expect something like Hereditary.
It's going to be long.
Yeah, it feels long sometimes for some people, but...
Dialogue.
I really liked it. And, what also was it? Let me see. Ari Aster said, along with... if you went in seeing Midsommar expecting something like Hereditary, that you'd be disappointed. He also went on to say that he described the film as the Wizard of Oz for perverts. So, I guess that kind of gives you
perverts.
An idea. I guess that's what he said.
Wait a minute, I can see that.
Yeah.
The main character, girl who just wants to go home, and then she had about. Holy crap. She had like 3 guys with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Dorothy the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion.
We are in the spoilers.
We're not in the spoilers yet.
And instead of like gaining them one by one, she
Hey, that's spoilers.
You want to go into spoiler territory?
We didn't go into spoiler territory yet.
Oh, whoops. Okay, well, you want to go into spoiler territory?
I'll cut that out. I'll just cut that out.
Whoops. Okay, let's go into spoiler territory.
Yeah, okay. But I just have one thing left. So the film is going to be... Or no, let's just go into spoiler territory.
All right, spoilers.
Don't want to risk...
If you haven't seen it and you want to see it without anything like that, skip to the link.
Yeah, there's links in the description or, like, time codes. All right, so in the film... Or no, okay. So the film, as we know, was borderline NC-17. And because of that, like, I think 30 minutes was cut out of the film. So on Blu-ray, I'm hoping that they release the 3-hour extended cut. I think that's what they're doing.
Aren't they? Yeah, that's what in the post you sent me, that's what they said they're doing.
I think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like more deaths, more creepy stuff, and then
they'll probably show us stuff like I know we're in spoiler territory. You know how later in the film they showed like when they found like the dead bodies, like they kind of took the characters away, like the friends.
Yeah.
Like the guy who got basically skinned.
Everything was off screen.
Skin.
So
everything was off screen. I feel like the half hour is probably going to just show like those people getting skinned and like fucking killed.
I think something like that will be in the extended parts. There also is a lot of shots and a lot of scenes in the trailer that I noticed that weren't in the movie. Just small little things.
Being gutted on the table.
Which thing?
Well, there's a person getting gutted on the table, and then it ended up being like the bear. Like the bear later in the film that they had since the beginning of the Midsommar Festival. They gutted it on the table, right?
Yeah.
To put onto the main
Chris is his name? Chris was the guy's name.
Don't forget.
Him in the suit. They put him in the suit.
He is the bear.
Yeah.
And they made him the bear, I guess. But in the trailer, I thought they like showed like in what trailer I saw, it showed a person getting their intestines ripped out on that.
No, that was still. I thought I still saw a bear.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, but the reason why the film was going to be NC-17 is because of that, and because there was more. Or no, the reason why it was going to be NC-17 is because of the full frontal nudity from Jack Renner. Chris.
Oh yeah, there's like that full like orgy sex scene thing.
That fucking scene was weird. Like,
yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
in that post you sent me, they're gonna release more to that scene too, aren't they?
I don't know. I really don't know.
They took some out of that scene because there's probably stuff that was more disturbing.
I don't know. That film, it was weird. Like, either people thought it was uncomfortable, unnerving, like I did, and then there was a lot of people who thought it was just fucking hilarious.
So, they kind of... There's that girl, she made that, like, love potion for Chris, right? Out of her nasty spot, her pubes and everything. And she made the potion and put it in his food. And then when he got kind of drawn to the chamber where they planned out.
Yeah.
The whole, like, community kind of, like, planned out for him to, like, have reproduce and have sex with her. And then there was just all these ladies standing in a circle, like, singing around the girl laying ready to... And it happened, and it was just, like, really uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
There's that aggressive, like, sounds that the old ladies were making, and...
I didn't like that.
It's uncomfortable. I don't know. Ari Aster has a fetish with cults and naked people. I don't know.
It's just... I think it adds uncomfortableness to the horror kind of movie aspect, and that's why he does it. I think that's what it is. It does freak people out. Obviously works. Cults freak everyone out. So frontal nudity makes everyone, just about everyone, uncomfortable.
Especially when it's old people.
Yeah. Yeah, especially fucking old people. What was I going to say about... let's see. There's the whole scene where, like, everybody's... Where they're making her the May Queen, was that what her name was? The May Queen?
Yeah.
Or whatever, the Midsommar Queen. How everything was set up, kind of... It seemed like they wanted her to be the May Queen. Because they brought her there.
Yeah.
They had this whole dance competition, and they kind of, like... They kind of made it portrayed as it was, like, destiny to have her as the May Queen. But not really. Their intention was to bring tourists here every, like, what is it?
Every...
Summer and... Yeah. Summer solstice, winter solstice?
I don't know. It's like every 72 years, probably.
Yeah. And they kind of repopulate their little closed community.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they brought these people here, and they separated this couple. Like, the girl, they took her off to be the May Queen. And while she was gone, you know how she's like, can Chris come with me? They're like, no, you must go alone. Well, right when she left, they brought him in to, mate with that other woman so they could make another child.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt, like, really set up, and everything was just going the way the people around, like, the people in the town wanted it to go. And it just made the characters really powerless, and it made you feel powerless watching it, too. It was just really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the lengthy amount of time that you stick with the characters at the beginning before they get there kind of makes it a little bit more impactful, because you get to know a lot of the characters and what they're like and all that stuff, and it just, like... I don't know, it makes it a little bit more disturbing.
Yeah. That whole broken the broken relationship that was, like, failing, and that you knew Chris told his friends he'd break up with her, like, a year ago, and how, like, he forgot about her birthday, and he forgot, like, how long they've been together. He was just, like, it was, like, a really bad relationship, and they made sure to portray that between those two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the film that they show that haven't left my head within the few weeks that I've seen it, or, like, I saw it a few weeks ago, and there's some stuff that still hasn't left my mind. Like that guy that was hooked up by his lungs. Yeah. Yeah. Ari Aster said, Frank, that he actually did some research into, like, Viking torture, stuff like that.
Yeah. I knew prior to the movie that's what Vikings did, and then afterwards I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so you were right about that.
Cool how it followed, like, their culture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
speaking of
that's where the Norse people came from.
With the pictures that they had portrayed, seeing, like, what's going to happen in the film, like, you knew it was going to happen. If you looked at the backgrounds, like, even walls of their apartments, you'd see, like, pictures hung up that are just, like, out of place. Like, there's a girl, like, a blonde-haired girl with a crown on, like, touching
a bear
with, like, this bear.
Yeah.
I was like, that's gonna happen later.
Yeah, there's, like, little things like that when you rewatch the film, it makes it even more interesting.
I didn't expect, like, Chris to be the bear, obviously. I just thought, like, maybe there'd be, like, a scary scene where she's getting chased by a bear or something. But, just stuff like that when you watch, really interesting, though.
And then the bear on fire when Chris is looking or waiting in that one room.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So creepy. It like, when I watched that last scene, the parallel between the two characters was, like, really, like, crazy. It was one of them who was, like, the May Queen, right? They told her all this nice stuff about her.
Mm-hmm.
They basically were, like, praising her and giving her flowers and crowns and wrapped her in this cape. And then across from her, they gave Chris the exact different treatment. They paralyzed him. They put him into, like, a bloody carcass of a bear.
Yeah.
They put him in a room to burn with a bunch of other people.
And there were only two other people. Everyone else was scarecrows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Skin suits.
I love how I love how when they're bringing all like the dead tourists or the dead Americans into the what is it, the fire temple, that's the name of the song, but when they bring in, what's his name, I can't remember, Will Poulter's character, like the the guy who pisses on the ashes on the tree or whatever.
Yeah, the guy who looks like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they
made him like a jester.
Yeah, they put the jester hat on him, like he's the Joker or whatever. I like that.
Because he's a fool for pissing on the ashes of their ancestors.
Put that nasty dick away.
Yeah, I forgot about that scene where he's like pissing on a tree.
He's like, I just had to piss.
The ashes of their ancestors.
Yeah.
He's like, you idiot! I'll chop your dick off. You're pissing on my ancestors.
What was I?
It was cool with those. It was cool with those subtitles too, because he was speaking a different language. Forgot about
that. So
I want to talk about the 72-year-old.
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah, that's right.
Cut their hand.
I love that scene.
Go on about that scene. It's like the first thing where shit starts going down in the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. The meal was happening and everything was fine. It was kind of weird because everyone was copying. But when they went up to the cliff, everyone already knew what was going on. Everyone happened.
You're kind of cutting out, Frank, a little bit.
Yeah, you're kind of a lot. I can't even decipher you.
It's alright.
I promise it's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
Just clicking the app a couple times, I guess.
You're talking about how, like everyone knew what the fuck was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Once they got up there.
It was going down when the old people were up on the cliff.
When the meal started, and they kind of were leading the meal, and the two were just like, what the fuck's going on? But everyone was just respecting these two elders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They went up to the cliff and they cut their hands and they wiped down on this rune stone.
Yeah.
What the fuck was about all those rune stones?
There was the symbols on it and shit like that.
Yeah, that was.
They believe they had mystical powers.
Yeah, that's throughout the whole movie. They had different rune stones, like the love rune stone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, though, after they wiped their bloody hands on it, they jumped off a cliff to get their face smashed into a rock to die. Because when you reach 72, they don't want to live anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Gross as hell. But remember, the old guy only broke his legs, so they had to fucking destroy his face with a hammer.
Yeah, that scene was fucked up because,
I watched it, and for some reason I didn't really even flinch to it, but it was really disturbing to watch the face get encaved.
He breaks his legs and he's just screaming in agony, and then everyone else is screaming like they're all connected or something like that. Oh, that happens again at the end when
throughout the movie when everyone's burning in the temple.
Mm-hmm, so at the end, when he's looking at his friend, and then when he catches on fire, or no, the two guys, they go in there, and then he's looking at his friend, and they're both sacrificing themselves. They give them something that you're like, oh, you won't feel pain. And then, he gets caught on fire and he starts fucking screaming. And then everyone else is just grabbing themselves, yelling. Ugh. You're like, oh, Jesus.
It's like, oh, God.
Yeah. So, and then with the old guy, he breaks his legs. He's not dead. So they have to go up there with a giant-ass, DD hammer. And fucking cave in his face.
It's super smashed his head.
Yeah. He does the side, I don't know.
Side special.
Yeah.
It shows you the freeze frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, the KO.
So, yeah. There's a lot of shit that has stuck with me after, seeing it a week ago.
Actually still engraved in my head. It doesn't bother me or scare me and let me sleep, but you can if you think about it, it's kind of engraved. You know what you're talking about, or
yeah.
When I talk about the lady's skull caved in, I can see the exact image where they zoomed into her head,
mm-hmm.
caved in with the flies around it. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. There was one thing that I loved about the marketing in this film is when there was a TV spot or a small little ad. It was oh, this is all the festivities here. They got bingo, they got what was it? Chance dancing, stuff like that. And then it says BBQ, and then it shows the two bodies burning.
Really?
I love that. A24 just deadass said BBQ and showed us two dead bodies burning. Ugh.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
That's so funny. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I like the movie though.
Movie was really fucking good.
Still just like I like Hereditary more.
Yeah, I'm a little upset with myself because I didn't go into like hard specifics in my QMR, and yeah, I should have expanded it, but I just kind of half-assed it and wanted to get my thoughts out to see for people to know. But yeah,
that's okay. This is your thoughts out here. Yeah.
This is my favorite movie of the year. Like it's made the most impact on me, and I just haven't stopped thinking about it, and it's just so damn good.
Yeah. Is there anything like bad about the film we want to talk about? I can't think of anything really, but any.
Did you have any flaws with it, Frank?
Kind of.
I want to hear it.
I kind of wanted to know where all the customs, I get it, they've been doing it for a long time, but I wanted to know how they started. Of course, they couldn't tell us that because we were following
like a storyline, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you mean.
Another thing I thought was kind of, weird. The movie started, right? And it was just immediate drama. Like, oh, my sister is bipolar and, gonna kill herself. I think we could have used a little bit of background to the family for that. But
yeah,
I guess it's fine because, that wasn't even a major part of the story. We just know her family died.
Yeah, it kind of started off, I guess maybe, they didn't have a lot of time because we already worked with, how long was the movie?
It was it was almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess there wasn't a lot of time for him to work in, but yeah, I get what you mean. Where it just kind of started out in the drama.
All the issues I had with it are stuff that it's minor, and if they had done what I wanted them to do with it, it would have just been so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what's in the 30 minutes, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably.
We should watch it with the 30 minutes when it comes out.
Well, I'm buying that shit on Blu-ray day one, like what I did with Hereditary.
We'll have movie night again, and we'll watch the whole thing and see if there's anything like that they added that's more disturbing that we like more about the film.
I've been dying to revisit the movie anyway, so yeah.
What about Frank's talking about the customs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want more background on it? That reminded me of something. You remember that books, they had their sacred text scene that was written by inbred, their inbred chosen one child. Oh my god, that was creepy as shit.
They said I remember they were talking about, I don't know if this is exactly what they said, but they referenced something about his mind being clouded or something like that.
Less clouded.
Less clouded.
Not clouded at all. And
then at the end of the film, you see him writing in the book, and he's sitting on a cloud.
Really?
Do you remember that?
When was that?
He near the end, when they're doing all that shit.
Never saw him sitting on a cloud.
I think there's some footage or a shot online of it. I think it's in a spot. I'll show it to you after, or I'll try to find it after. But
it was.
Yeah.
I do remember. They take us to this guy. Basically, they show a clip of him drawing with paint, and it's what the fuck? You were what the fuck is that?
You're who are you?
He was really deformed.
What is this creature?
And they were, when he was explaining to the guy who's doing his thesis paper or whatever.
Yeah.
They're we inbreeded him on purpose to make him this way, physically, mentally slower and just dysfunctional, so he could sit there and paint, and they could write in the text because he's connected to the gods or whatever their religion follows.
I think that's
basically
what they were talking
he doesn't
about.
have a higher thought process, so all he does is feel it.
So they're he can feel the runes and everything because he doesn't think, so his mind isn't clouded and he can just focus. Basically, he's just a mule, a pack mule for their runes.
This is a little off topic. Hopefully we don't have no one else has anything else to add about that small thing.
That was just creepy, especially how he wore the friend's skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways.
One of my favorite things about the film was the cinematography is really good. Like Hereditary, it's really well shot. Like, I don't know, like
Did you zoom in on somebody's face?
What do you have in mind when you say that?
Like the transitions. Like, you remember when she walks into the bathroom and starts crying, but then as soon as she walks through, she's on the plane crying in the bathroom.
Sick transition.
I love that.
Awesome.
There's also
that was cool.
There's just also small things, like there's like a small shot at the beginning where she's on the phone and she's walking across her room and it like kind of just follows her and it's really smooth and it looks nice. I don't know. But there's also shots at the end that just haven't left my mind, like Florence Pugh in the flower dress with the flower crown, her looking at Chris and she just looks upset. Like that one shot hasn't left my mind, along with the shot.
That's like her deepest desire to watch him burn, like the whole time.
Yeah, and then like the other shot where she's sitting in front of the fire temple on fire, and then she's just sitting there.
That's the thing I was gonna say. Hold on.
Also, at the final shot, like the last shot when she's smiling, like just all these shots haven't left my mind.
Yeah,
I know what's so off-putting about that. You know what off-puts me the most about that is, you know how, like, after she becomes May Queen, it's established she's connected and kind of brainwashed by this whole community.
Mm-hmm.
When she's, like, watching Chris burn and everything, you don't know, like, you can't tell if that reaction is her own or that of, like, what she's been brainwashed to think, or, like, half the time when she was doing stuff, or it just seemed like she was following them, or, like they were in her head. But when she's sitting there just like smiling at Chris dying and like laughing or smiling or whatever, or just staring at him angrily, you don't know if it's her or just them, you know what I mean? I
think it's actually her, because like, I don't know, she doesn't have anything left. Her family's dead, her friends are dead, her boyfriend's dead.
I think that's what the guy that brought her there said, why she was perfect to be the May Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted to bring her into this community.
Cause,
that's right.
You know,
give her something. She has nothing left, nothing to tie her back. So they killed Chris and she didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
They have her here and she can't.
And I think she's like, and then she just becomes happy. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if it's like a fucked up happy or just like straight up, oh, I'm really happy. Or I'm happy that my friends are dead. I don't know.
It's so fucked.
I think it came from like, oh, I'm finally free.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah. I got one more discrepancy with the movie I forgot to mention.
One more flaw?
Earlier, I mean. One more, like, it's probably because I'm conservative, but I didn't really like the amount of times they got high. Like, they could have cut it back a little bit. They're like, at the beginning of the movie, they were saying, oh, we're gonna go, like, smoke some weed, and then when she went to their house, you could just see a bong in the background, and then they got this weed, and then they're like, hey, let's try these mushrooms, and then they kept giving them drinks. Hey. It's just something that seemed unnecessary.
It seemed, like, when they got there, it seemed unnecessary, but what you're talking about when they were there, I didn't think they put too much emphasis on the bong. It was just more in the background.
It was in the background, and like, I get it. They're college students and all that kind of stuff. It's there. It's fine. I don't mind.
There was one like
after a while,
one behind them and one on the other side.
There was like 3, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
it just shows the college students. That's
I guess.
Shows more
I do agree.
That's what they do.
I do agree that yes, when they got there and then they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. I don't know. Maybe it was to bring a little bit of comedic relief because when Will Poulter's character, the kid who looks like Sid, was like, he was cracking some pretty funny jokes, but
Where he's just all like, let's lay down.
They didn't need to put that much time on it.
Lay down. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed the point on it or whatever, but it just
Maybe there was a point that I just didn't.
Yeah, but anyway, it could have.
That's all I've got. That's wrong.
If it was just trimmed a little bit, I mean, I wouldn't mind. But, you know.
There's a long section of, like, that girl being high, too. The part that fucked me up was when she walked to the bathroom, and she just saw her face melting, because that's, like, what acid does to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it actually freaked me out for a second.
I was like, I didn't find it scary. I was just like, this is a little, I don't know. I can't really describe how I felt.
I think, basically, the beginning of the movie, it was good, but not as good as when you get halfway through when shit starts happening.
Yeah. It's
like, basically the message is wait till the part where they're at the cliff, and then the movie really starts getting good.
I think the second act and the third act is just worth it for sitting through the first act. And the first act sets up a lot of stuff for,
it does. You just don't notice it.
Yeah. I can't wait to revisit it, because, damn. Anything else? Do you think we have anything else to say? I mean,
we could probably give our scores and move on to the seventh seal now.
I mean, I have one small thing, but it's like it's just brief. It sucks that so far the film hasn't been doing so great at the box office, and during its opening weekend, it's a little bit difficult to. I was a little upset because the film was released in the middle of the week. I think it was on Wednesday. And then they counted the amount of money it grossed only on the weekend, not its opening day or whatever. So it only got $16 million on its weekend.
That's kind of not fair.
And in total,
why didn't they count the opening day?
I don't know. And in total, it's only made 18,400,000. So I don't know. I want people to support this film because, you know, it's really good.
Go out and watch it now.
Yeah, go see that. It's I don't know. Yeah.
If you're not afraid of a little bit of gore.
Yeah, if you can handle some gore, just. Ugh. All right, my favorite film of the year. So, you guys want to go through the scores?
Yep. You can go. Who's gonna go first?
I'll go first. Jake's last.
Gotcha.
I'd say, for me, 8 out of 10.
All right.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. Fucking the tension it gave me, the symbolism, every like little detail. But I don't know. It just wasn't a favorite movie of mine. I guess that shouldn't go into my rating. But you know, the length, long like scenes, and then the flaws weren't even that noticeable. I think actually 8.5. That's what I meant. 8.5 out of 10 for me.
All right.
Okay, mine. I don't want you guys to hate me, guy.
We're not gonna hate you for an opinion, man. You still there?
Hereditary. I guess I was expecting too much of a horror aspect. So what I've got is 6.
6 out of 10.
6.5. I boosted up and
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Yep. So like, I don't know. Maybe I should give it a 7.
I mean, no, that's your opinion, man. Don't.
I think you're kind of cutting out again, Frank.
You're cutting out a little bit, but that's okay.
I'll stick with 6.5 then.
That's all right.
That's all right. All right,
for you, Jake.
For me, let me think about this for a moment.
What was your rating on Letterboxd?
I gave it a 9. A 9 out of 10.
Anything from this talk change your opinion about the score?
No, it's still a 9 out of 10 for me because, you know, it's not like the film is fantastic. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
But you know,
the symbolism, the score, the acting, it was great.
Yeah, it's not, you know, like everything. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, and you know, I'd be like reaching a little bit to call it a masterpiece, but you know, it's maybe on a few more rewatches or whatever after it's settled me with.
Like, in your opinion, it's a masterpiece, you know?
Yeah, but I just think it's, you know, it's fantastic. I'd recommend it, yeah, to many people. So, yeah, 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So,
in all of our opinions, it was still very good.
Yeah, we liked it a lot. So, the film we recommended, or the film that I recommended was called The Seventh Seal.
All right.
I had them watch it. Huh?
Give us some background on it.
Oh shit! Off the top of my head, it's been a while. I gotta. I'm sorry. I gotta look this up.
Yeah, when was it released? It was made. It was a black and white film. Obviously.
It was. I let them borrow my Criterion Blu-ray. The film was made in 1957. Yeah. Hopefully everyone didn't get confused on which film we were doing this episode. Because,
yeah, we cut out 2 of them.
Yeah, we kind of cut out 2 of them because it was a little bit too much for us.
We can bring those back later episodes. Like when Nick will watch his Captain Alex, so he do the background on that. But this one, we just decided to stick with one.
Alright. So, The Seventh Seal. If you don't want to get spoiled for it, go watch it and then come back to this. It's a really good movie, so.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So, I'm very excited to hear what you guys thought about it.
Well, so went to this film, pulled it up, and it kind of just... Wait, we don't want to do spoilers yet, do we?
No, this is a full spoiler.
Been out for how long?
Full spoilers.
Alright, so it kind of started out, and they kind of gave like a little background, which I enjoyed. It took place like right after the Crusades ended, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this guy, the main character Knight's laying on a beach with a squire, I think? Squire?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
Or whatever. And it kind of just, death comes out of nowhere. Like, you can tell it's death, and the guy, he sets up a chessboard, and it's like he's expecting to die. Right?
So
and they just kind of start playing. He makes the deal with death that if as long as I can oppose you in this match, or if I beat you, I win my life, right?
Okay, so did you understand the film and why he's playing chess with death?
Yeah, I did. It was kind of like not. He played chess with death because he wanted to live. I think he said later in the film that he wanted to live because he feels like he needs a better purpose. I guess. Like, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know if God is real. Obviously, that's a harsh thing to believe back in that time period, which I picked up on. So he's confessing that to a priest later on, which actually ends up being death disguised, tricking him. But he's like, I want to learn, and I want to have a bigger purpose. Like, I want to make a difference and everything. And he's like, you may never actually do that. It's like kind of a sad, dark theme. But he's kind of cheating death a little bit by playing him in chess so he can live just a little longer to get these like moments to learn and live.
The whole struggle he's going on throughout the entire film is like it's the basis of the existential crises that countless philosophers struggle with generation. But, in the end, you can't beat death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what the film is Antonius, I hope I'm saying his name right.
I think that's his name, right?
The main knight. Basically what it is he has the plague. And
he has the plague?
He delays his own death.
Well, yeah.
He delays his own death by gambling with the Reaper. Thus he has more time to reach with his beloved ones, infecting them in the process.
Yeah, that's why they
all die at the end. And that's why they all dance. It's called the Dance of Death. That's what they're doing at the end.
They alluded to that earlier in the film when they painted that.
Yeah.
The painter painted that on the wall.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you die. You all dance off in death, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was missing to catch on to. That makes so much sense now. Why death said that you and all your people you're traveling with will die, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering why. I'm like, why isn't this knight afraid to get the plague?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's traveling. He's not afraid to get the plague. Like,
he goes up to the girl who has the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
He's not afraid of her.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense, and that's why all the people die. I was wondering. I was like, he said it's his time, and that's why it makes more sense. Where he's like, my body is ready, but my heart is not. So he says in the beginning.
What he says,
okay,
he's like, are you ready? He's like, are you ready? My body is not myself.
Are you ready?
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain.
It makes sense how all the people around him get the plague too, because that whole scene where they like shared food and they were traveling really closely and everything.
Yeah, and then
the two people didn't die at the end. Those
they got away.
Yeah.
Just in time.
I liked that whole scene where they were drinking milk and berries. And he's like, "I'll remember this like a fond memory and all that." It was nice, like a little bring them together.
Yeah.
Like he cared about them, but he didn't really even know them that well.
Yeah.
Simple things back then. I liked the little parts where it switched between the characters and showed us life kind of back then in medieval times.
Like it was showing
like happening. It made me kind of like made me think if I lived back then in the plague, it'd be a really terrifying, scary time to live. Sad, depressing. There's like that thief, he was stealing jewelry off like dead bodies and like plagued bodies. Sad.
Yeah.
And then that whole thing that they brought those people who thought that the plague was sent down from God to punish us for our sins, and they were like walking around whipping themselves and they were pleading to God. That was scary too.
Yeah, it just kind of takes a break from all that and kind of shows like, I don't know, like situations. I don't remember his name, like the Joker or like one of the main. I don't remember his name. Seventh Seal, like like this traveling circus or whatever.
Yeah,
One of the characters, his name
guy
is
with a son
one of the acrobats. His name's Joff or something like that.
Yeah.
Acrobat Joff is his name, and when he's in the bar and he's getting attacked or whatever.
Yeah, and they make him dance and all that. Yeah. That part was like, wow. They really didn't like circus performers back then, or performers at all. But those are the kind of people just trying to lighten the situation. Like they're people who laugh in bad situation.
Yeah.
Like I guess
it just shows the barbarity and savagery of the time period.
Yeah. What was one thing I was gonna say? Oh, that guy's ability, that Joff guy, who he had his wife. You know how
his visions?
Said he saw like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, his visions.
He keeps having visions, and his vision at the end was actually accurate.
Yeah, when he saw death.
When he saw death dancing, like when he saw death playing chess with the knight, and they left, and they ran away.
And then at the end,
he saw death dancing off with all his like friends.
Yeah.
People around him that died, and like he actually saw that, and that was actually happening. But like she was all like, "Oh, you and your visions," and he was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah. It's sort of like a sad, but at the same time happy ending. It's a happy ending for the traveling circus people, except for that one who got cut down in the tree.
I don't know. Somehow I thought it was nice that they all kind of like died together.
I guess so. Yeah.
They finally accept the dance of death, and they just danced off with him.
I don't know. Like there's some comedy in the movie. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I found some parts funny.
Like what parts?
Like the whole feud with the circus guy running off with that one dude's wife.
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be funny, I think.
And then he goes up to him at the end. He's like threatening him or whatever. And when he's just like, all right, I guess I'll.
To kill himself.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, I guess I'll kill. I just guess I'll kill myself, and he just stabs himself in the heart.
Yeah,
that was comedic. That was like.
I thought it was funny how Death started like cutting down the tree he was hiding in. Like that was so cartoonish.
He was like, "Your time's up."
Like he's like hiding in the tree until morning. He starts sawing the tree. He's like, "Hey, bugger off! That's my tree." And he's just like, "Nah, dude." And he just keeps sawing.
Yeah.
Kills him. Yeah, there's moments like that were funny. Something else about the time period. I don't know. This reminded me of stuff that you wouldn't think about. How the film people follow like, oh, knights are all like loyal and bold and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but there's also a lot of bad things they did. Like they raped women of towns because they wouldn't get caught and they didn't have any consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
They talked about that in the film where this one guy, he's like, I think his name is John. Yeah, like the guy with the scar across his face.
Oh, yeah.
He's like doing good stuff. Like he stopped the thief from killing that woman. He saved Joff from, it's the whole bar thing.
Yeah.
Well, when he saves that girl from the guy, the thief, she's like, oh, well, you owe me. He's like, I could force myself upon you right now. Which means, yeah, he would rape her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were talking about. And obviously, he said he talked about how he did before. He's like, I found that love to be stale. But that's what Knights did back then. And he even talked about his wife, like, I assume or hope she's dead by now. So he just kind of had her travel with him. And that was like, wow, that's... Like, this guy, he does good stuff, but he's not as noble as, his actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what the Knights back then were like.
I don't know. Like, there's just something about this film that... I don't know. I just really like it. The story's good. Just... I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
Kind of explain what he was. He traveled with the knight. He was more of like a hero character, I'd say. He was in the monastery. I don't know.
So anything else you guys want to cover about the...
About the what?
The movie?
About the movie. Seal.
I liked how the girl he saved, didn't talk until the end of the movie. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Her character, she's just quiet the whole movie and scared.
Yeah.
They all kind of, had different quirks about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one guy, you could see how sad, and when those, nobles or whatever they were burning the witch. Like, the person that they said was a witch. He was like, look at her. She's like, in this moment of death, she realizes that, there's nothing. No God and no devil. It was, really sad, and he was really, upset, and he felt a lot of remorse because she didn't, she's just dying and ceasing to exist. That's, genuinely what he believed.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in God, and he was, upset about it, and he hated to watch. It was saddening to watch scenes like that. He was kind of a character with no hope.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question about the title. Where did they get the title, The Seven?
Oh, it was about the story that they were reading. She was reading, scriptures and stuff, and, they're talking about, when the seventh seal was broken by, I believe it was, Jesus, was it?
Oh.
I think the seventh seal was the seal that was disallowing people from going to heaven.
Let me look
that up real quick. We'll talk about that.
The importance of God's silence to the meaning of the seventh seal and the movie title is indicated through the Bible verse quoted at the beginning and the end of the film. The Bible verse is, when he broke the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about a half an hour.
Okay.
How long's the movie? An hour and a half. No. I thought seventh seal was Jesus broke the seal that was put on heaven. And when it was broken, then the souls that were not allowed in heaven came up, rose from the dead, and all that went to heaven. That couldn't happen until, I don't know. It's a lot of Bible stuff.
I think there was 7. Wasn't there 7 of them that died at the end?
Is there 7 of them that died at the end?
Let me think.
Because there's a lot with the number 7. The 7 is how many days in the Bible it took God to make the earth. The perfect number is number 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them that die, but then the 7th one is death.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's cool. There's 7 of them dancing off. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of, it's little details you notice like that. They're pretty cool.
The Seventh Seal is one of my favorite foreign films. It's stuck with me more than some of them that I've seen.
Yeah. I appreciate the black and white. How old is this movie again?
In 1957, I think.
Wow, pretty long time ago. It was a good movie. I really liked it.
Yeah. Sorry, there really wasn't a lot to discuss. I thought there would be a little bit more, but
I don't know. It was.
It's
an interesting. It's a film you gotta watch. and there's a lot to comprehend and catch on to. It kind of got. Sometimes I had to pause it to think to myself about the messages and the stuff. It's a really good film, and I appreciate the effort that was put into it. They follow the Bible with a lot of stuff. Like, I'm sure some of the stuff they talked about, you could find examples in the Bible. It's really cool to like see that kind of based off that put through the film.
It's a good little movie in the Criterion Collection.
That's right.
It's in the Criterion Collection?
Yep. I let you borrow the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film though. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my dad it sometime.
Yeah. So, do we have anything left?
I'm gonna ratings.
Oh yeah, ratings. Whoops.
And suggestions.
Ratings, and then our recommendation for the next thing.
Yeah.
So this for episode 4. All right. So, yeah.
All right. My rating for the movie, I think solid 7.5 out of 10 for me. For a movie of its time. I really liked it.
Right, mine a little bit lower, 7.
All right.
Okay.
For me personally, I've seen it twice. I'd give it a 9, but it's more closer to a 10 than an 8.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's a really good movie, and I feel like with all the movies nowadays, that are kind of like a lot of them are just all the same or lazy or just like poor writing. I always appreciate watching older films like this with deeper messages and that are like have more stuff to think about.
That's why I like the Criterion Collection so much, because there's thousands of movies like this on there. Just really good movies that you can think about. Yeah. All right. So, episode 4, we have another recommendation. Are we going to be doing another one for me, I guess?
Yeah, from you.
Okay.
I haven't had anything prepared.
Okay, so you already know what the fuck I'm going to recommend, because I've been wanting you guys to watch it forever, and
we tried to watch it like 3 times when you came over.
So it used to be my second favorite film, but now it kind of dethroned Pulp Fiction as being, so this is my new favorite film of all time, because I've seen it like 6 times and I haven't gotten sick of it, and I love it so much. The film is going to be Goodfellas.
Yep, there it is. Yeah. I have the disc right in my room.
I'm letting you borrow the Blu-ray, but we just all haven't had time to watch it, and it's so good. Oh, it's a mafia movie. It's by Martin Scorsese. It came out in 1990. It is so good. I love it. I'm
excited to watch it. Do you want to watch it all together, or should we just watch it when we can?
I mean, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But just we got to try to hide our
opinions
the best we can. But yeah, we can. Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Maybe that's what's a good thing about us, like not being able to talk about the movie after we watched Midsommar, because we had more opinion on. We had kind of surprises about it. We didn't talk about it.
Me and Frank did do a little bit of discussion in the car, but thank you guys for watching episode 3 of Toxic Talk. Did you just sneeze?
I just sneezed in the middle of your outro.
That was really loud.
I'm sorry. I covered the mic. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Thank you guys for watching episode 3 of Toxic Talks. Next episode, we're going to be discussing, I don't know what film we're going to be discussing, but we're going to be discussing
comes out next.
A movie.
Goodfellas for sure.
Theaters. Yeah, Goodfellas for sure. Make sure you watch it, because you do not want to be spoiled for it. It's one of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's so good. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Or we'll see you in the next episode. Well, see you later.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.